The 1-2 Chargers host the 2-1 Arizona Cardinals. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NFL on Fox. I'm Sam Rosen. My cohorts, Tim Ryan and Chris Myers, are on the field. When you think of the San Diego Chargers, despite their tough start, you think of their offense. Last week, they put up over 500 yards total offense, led by Phillip Rivers passing. The Arizona Cardinals, they've been known for their offense the last couple of years, but they're going through a transition from Kurt Warner at quarterback to Derek Anderson at quarterback. Tim, how's Derek doing?
Well, clearly, Sam, it's been a struggle, and Derek knows he needs to play better. I talked to him last night. A couple of things to keep in mind. Learning this offense has been a challenge, completely different from anything he's learned in pro football. That'll get better as the year goes on. Number two, Larry Fitzgerald had a knee injury early in camp. They did not get a chance to work together till week one. I think that chemistry gets better. I think their chance today to win has got to come on the ground game. The dynamic 1-2 punch of Beanie Wells and Tim Hightower. They've got to go off today so Derek does not have to press in the passing game. That's when he gets in trouble. Now let's go to the Chargers and Chris Myers.
Well, Tim, the point of emphasis all week in San Diego, special teams. 3 return runbacks for touchdowns against them. Some Charger players so embarrassed they volunteered, those normally not on the squad, to be on the kick coverage team. Special teams coach Steve Crosby, who's been at this for a while, said, look, yes, I'm angry and upset. That's the mentality of special teams. If I have to change personnel to get guys to do the job, I will. Special teams in San Diego, they have been called out, and they vow today to come out swinging. So much, in fact, former heavyweight champion Joe Frazier here in attendance, and Crosby joked before the game, I'll put him in on kickoff teams if I need him. That's the story from the field, Sam. Let's go back upstairs to you.
And I'll tell you, Chris, if it were up to Joe Frazier, he'd be out there. There's the kick coverage team. They're out on the field first because the Cardinals have won the coin toss and elected to receive. Norv Turner has deactivated a couple of guys who made mistakes last week. A couple of changes in personnel and a couple of adjustments made on the coverage. LaRod Stevens howling. He took one back against Oakland last week for a touchdown. 102 yards. The kickoff comes to Howling at the 8. Trying to find the lane. Slips a couple of tackles and able to make his way up to the 25-yard line where Quentin Teal, who was signed this week to play special teams, made the tackle. There's a flag down as the Cardinals come out with Derek Anderson leading the team at quarterback. Larry Fitzgerald is the lone veteran receiver. Stephen Williams is a rookie, undrafted rookie, starting today. Offensive line, they brought in Alan Faneca. He's been to the Pro Bowl 9 straight times. No flag on the play. As you look at the offensive line of the Arizona Cardinals, Brandon Keith will have a tough job trying to contain Sean Phillips. They open up with 2 tight ends, Ben Patrick and Steven Spock. And Fitzgerald goes to the far side, where he is covered by Quentin Jammer. Anderson throws outside of Fitzgerald. Jammer wraps him up, pulls him out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Tim Ryan is back in the booth with us. He's made it back upstairs as we check out San Diego's 3-4 defense. Up front, they're pretty solid. They played well. The linebackers are injured. Sean Merriman is out. Larry English is out. Antoine Applewhite is making his first NFL start. The secondary, good corners. Antoine Cason and Quentin Jammer. There's Eric Little, the safety. Max Comar, number 18. Undrafted rookie, is in as a 3rd wide receiver. Anderson throws short to Fitzgerald again. He's up to the 35-yard line. He's got enough for the first down. Going with short passes to Fitzgerald to start the game.
Well, they got to find some chemistry between those two guys, Sam. And I talked about it in the open. Derek did not get a chance to work with Larry Fitzgerald until week 1 at St. Louis. So clearly there's been some challenges there in trying to hook it up. And he's also had a knee injury. That, you know, as you look at Larry and him getting back to full strength, talking to him yesterday, he said he's getting close. Expect them to have a big day together.
He is now all alone, second all-time in reception in Cardinals team history. Tim Hightower picks it up to the 40-yard line. A pickup of almost 6'5" on the play. Hightower, strong runner, had a big 80-yard touchdown run in week 2 against Atlanta, the only bright spot of that game for the Cardinals. But we'll see a lot of Beanie Wells, who returned to the lineup and ran well last week.
Yeah, Beanie was explosive. He was one of the most explosive backs down the stretch last year. He also had a knee injury. Had it surgically repaired before the season started. But you got to love Tim Hightower and what this guy brings. He is so underrated. You see there, he's just at about 6 yards a pop, and he's a terrific receiver out of the backfield.
3 backs in the lineup. LaRod Stevens-Howling is in the slot. Anderson fakes, throwing short, and it's batted away. It's ruled an incomplete pass. Kevin Burnett, he's the man who blocked it and broke it up.
Well, here's Burnett right here. There's the running back that's going to get the little screenplay. Watch Burnett. He's reading it the whole way. They got press on the outside. He is locked up in man coverage on Jason Wright, and he had his crosshairs right on him. And that is a tough play to throw it. Derek Anderson to get it to Jason Wright without blockers in front of him. Burnett sniffed it out and blew it up.
It was ruled no possession. 3rd and 5 at the 40. Max Komar is in as a 3rd wide receiver. He's in motion. Anderson gets time. Throws and completes to Komar in Chargers territory. A first down at the 44-yard line. Steve Gregory, the safety, made the tackle. Big 3rd down completion, 16 yards.
Steve Gregory on the tackle.
He wiggles to get loose here. Max Komar, he comes over in motion. He's got Strickland on him. He just settles down in the hole right in the middle of that defense. I'm telling you, Derek Anderson, you talk about confidence. He has clearly lacked it this season. He's loaded with skill. If he gets that confidence going, he's a completely different player.
And a timeout by the Chargers here, as they didn't like the personnel they had on the field. North Turner's team takes a timeout.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
I think some huge keys for the San Diego Chargers today, Sam, is, and we got to keep our eyes early on their special teams. The kick coverage unit, obviously good on that first time down, kicking it off. Darnell Dockett against the right guard, Tyrone Green. That will be a big challenge for San Diego. They've got to be able to handle that. And then Antonio Gates, his matchup with those safeties for Arizona, Adrian Wilson, and Kerry Rhodes knows him from his days at the Jets. That will be a big one to keep our eyes on.
2 tight ends in for Arizona on first down. Travis Johnson and Ojemdi Nwabo are in on the defensive line for the Chargers. Hightower straight ahead. It's down to the 40, about 4. Let's check out the game in Philadelphia. McNabb back in Philly. Here's Kurt Menefee.
And McNabb back on top. The Redskins, their first possession of the game, ends in a Ryan Torian 12-yard touchdown run. McNabb and the Redskins have a 7-0 lead 3 minutes into that one. Sam and Tim.
Thank you, Kurt. Good start for the Redskins. As you see, 3 teams 1 and 2 in the NFC East. The Eagles at 2 and 1. LaRod Stevens-Howling in the backfield with Derek Anderson. 3 wide receivers. Hand off to Howling. Stevens-Howling cuts it back. It's down to the 46-yard line. Bring up a 3rd and 2 for the Cardinals. A lot of different personnel being used by Ken Wisenhunt.
Well, and he should. I think we're going to see a lot of LaRod Stevens-Howling today, along with the other primetime backs in Wells and Hightower, because you think about their receiver core. Number one, they don't get a whole bunch out of their tight end play in terms of the passing game. Last game of the season last year, the 6 receivers that were up for that game, because guys are gone in injury, you got 5 new receivers out on the field today with Larry Fitzgerald.
Reagan Mauia in at fullback. Hightower carries, and he's got a first down. Good hold for Tim Hightower. Gets down to the 29-yard line. Good blocking up front. 7-yard run. And again, a good conversion on 3rd down by the Cardinals.
And you're going to see 35 runs, I think, as these guys try to pound it out today on the ground. Mauia gets a real nice lead block. Hightower is able to read the block, cut up inside. They're much more of a perimeter run team, and you see it right there. I mean, he cut inside the block and immediately got to the edge to pick up the first down.
Jason Wright is in, lines up at fullback, now shifts. 9th play of the drive. 4 runs, 4 passes. Up the play fake. Anderson outside. Fitzgerald on his knees makes the catch at the 22-yard line. Larry Fitzgerald has caught a pass in 89 consecutive games for the Cardinals. One of the great receivers, and he's playing on a not 100% knee. When they get to the bye week, he'll be able to rest that knee.
No, he is a true star, and they've been trying to get him the ball now. You talk about how many times he was targeted during the season. You see it right there, 34 times coming into the game, only 12 catches. Chemistry lacking.
2nd and 3. Stephen Williams in motion. Hightower got a good lane. He breaks through. He's going in. There's a flag down, though. Back at the line of scrimmage. Big hole. Hightower bursts through. And now let's check out the flag. Gene Steratore is our referee.
Holding. Offense. Number 45. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
It's on the fullback, Reagan Mawia. And negates a 22-yard touchdown run.
What a shame. You got to play clean at a place like this. Here's Mawia right here. Let's watch the hold. He's going to get up and he's going to get the kick out right there on. Oh, that's a rough ball right there. I don't think Phillips had any chance of making that play. I think he had no chance of coming back inside and getting Tim Hightower. That's a tough call on Mawia.
There's been an increase in holding penalty calls thus far through the first 3, now 4 weeks. That's the 11th touchdown that's been called back by a penalty this season. Anderson with time, he throws, it's intercepted. Intercepted by Antoine Cason. And that ends an outstanding drive. So the penalty negated a touchdown, and then the turnover gives the Chargers the ball down at the 10-yard line. Anderson threw into a crowd, and Cason was there.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
And I misidentified the man who intercepted. It was Steve Gregory in his 5th year out of Syracuse, undrafted free agent. He's worked his way up from special teams to nickel back, and now he's starting safety and comes up with a big intercept, his first of the season. 5th interception thrown by the Cardinals, their 11th giveaway of the season. From the 11. Straight ahead, Mike Tolbert.
And on to Mike Tolbert.
Gets a couple of yards. Let's check out what happened in Tennessee. Denver and Tennessee. Kurt Menefee has that.
And a thrilling finish. Kyle Orton, with a minute and a half left, hooks up with Pharrell Buckhalter for the game winner. And the Broncos knock off the Titans in thrilling fashion, 26-20. The final. Sam and Tim.
Thanks very much, Kurt. Here in San Diego, the Chargers with a 2nd and 8. 2 tight ends in, Antonio Gates and Brandy McMichael. Phillip Rivers off to a great start. Hands again to Tolbert. There's a flag on the play. Hard run by Tolbert. Tolbert came in. They made him a fullback. Then with the injury to the rookie Ryan Matthews, they moved him to running back. And he's been running very well. He's loaded the ground.
A penalty is declined. Result of the play, 1st down.
So the offside by Brian Robinson is declined. A 13-yard run by Mike Tolbert. We will see Ryan Matthews in the game. He's coming back from an injury. But Tolbert off to a good start. Now Matthews is in the game. The 1st-round draft pick out of Fresno State. With Jacob Hester, the fullback. 25. Rivers swings it out. Matthews with room takes it up to the 39-yard line. When he's got the ball in his hand, he is a hard runner. Check out the offense for the San Diego Chargers. The quarterback, of course, Phillip Rivers. Ryan Matthews will see action today coming back from the injury. The wide receivers, Malcolm Floyd, Legadou Nane, have played well. And Antonio Gates is closing in on 500 receptions in his great career. Offensive line, the right guard, Tyrone Green, is making his first NFL start with Luis Vasquez out with an injury. Tolbert in the backfield. Rivers gets time. The Tolbert juggles, holds on. And that hard run where he can hit a defender, he wants to hit him.
He is a bulldozer at about 250 pounds.
Up to the 47-yard line. Arizona Cardinals with a 3-4 defense, and up front Darnell Dockett is the man who leads the defense. Strong pass rusher, hard tackler. The linebackers have been solid. Joey Porter got his first sack as a Cardinal last week. Darrell Washington, good-looking rookie, second-round pick out of TCU. The safeties, great combination of Adrian Wilson and Kerry Rhodes, the former New York Jet. It's Tolbert again. This time he is wrestled down by Joey Porter. A high hit. No gain on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of ways to catch the football. Watch how Mike Tolbert catches this one. Oh, yeah, we've seen that before in a Super Bowl with the Giants. Remember that? David Tyree. Tolbert just pins that off his head. He's looking at the defense while he's got it pinned to his hat and able to pull it down and then run over a couple of guys. You know, college free agent, Coastal Carolina fullback. Anytime you throw it to him or hand it to him, he's going to make something positive happen.
He's the lone running back on 3rd and 2. Gates motions. Outside to Antonio Gates. And he's got a first down at the Arizona 40-yard line. Adrian Wilson takes him down. 13-yard pickup. Antonio Gates always gets open, Tim. He is tough to defend.
Well, and this is clearly a bust back in protection. I want you to watch these guys as he comes in motion. He's wide open in the flat, and the 3 defenders, everyone's going, all right, what do we do? All right, they motion to a stack. Who's got the flat? Nobody ends up getting to the flat. Antonio Gates all by himself. 2 guys jump the inside route, and they leave the prolific tight end out in the flat by himself.
Rivers starts 3 for 3. It's been tossed to Ryan Matthews, pulls it, cuts it back, and gets beat on the play down to the 33-yard line. San Diego Chargers let the great LaDainian Tomlinson go. They went into the draft and moved up to draft Ryan Matthews. He is, they feel, the running back star of the future.
Well, I think he is. And you look at that guy. He's from California. He was terrific at Fresno State anytime he had opportunity. Had the ankle that he hurt against Jacksonville a couple of weeks ago. But he can juke you or drag you. That's what you like about him. I mean, he can break away from linebackers and carry him at the same time.
Good drive by the Cardinals, which started, rather by the Chargers, which started at their 11th. Rivers puts it up deep for Gates. Touchdown! Touchdown pass, Phillip Rivers to Antonio Gates, and the Chargers take the lead. Gates has now caught a touchdown pass in 8 consecutive games, and Rivers has thrown a touchdown pass in 17 consecutive games. Look at the numbers all time. Only Tony Gonzalez has caught more touchdown passes amongst tight ends in NFL history.
No, he is a special, special player.
The extra point by Nate Kading is good. The turnover, the interception by Steve Gregory, and an 89-yard drive winds up with this touchdown pass from Rivers to Gates. Well, regular season baseball pennant races are winding up today. Great battles going on still. And right here on Fox, beginning October the 16th, it's the National League Championship Series, followed by the World Series on Fox. Atlanta Braves with a comeback win over the Phillies today, 8-7. If the San Diego Padres win today, they'll play a one-game playoff tomorrow here in San Diego. On the kickoff, Rod Stevens-Howling was pinned to the sideline. Not much room, but he's able to make something out of nothing and get it up over the 30-yard line to the 33. Phillip Rivers going 4 for 4 on that drive.
Sam, when you lose a great quarterback in Kurt Warner and an outstanding receiver in Anquan Bolden, that's usually what's going to happen to your offense. Look how that thing has flopped from last year in the rush yard versus the pass yards. Pretty incredible.
Cardinals start from the 32-second drive. They had a 10-play drive ending the interception. to start the game. Anderson's pass too high for Stephen Williams, covered by Quentin Jammer. Let's check out what's happening in Philadelphia. How about those Redskins, Kurt Menefee?
Hey, how about Donovan McNabb? All smiles, hooking up with Chris Cooley. Doesn't get much easier than that. 31 yards on the reception. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for the Redskins. They lead at 14-0 in the first quarter. 10-10.
Thanks, Kurt. Donovan McNabb ready to go against his former team.
If anybody did not envision him coming in and playing great in the link today, they were mistaken.
Hightower and Wright in the backfield. And Stevens Howling was in the slot. Hightower carrying for a couple of yards. Up close to the 34-yard line. Let's check out what Chris Myers is doing down on the sideline. Chris.
Well, Sam, even the San Diego defensive backs before the game said Derek Anderson was an up-and-down kind of quarterback. He doesn't look off receivers. And Anderson told us he's at his best. He knows where to go with the ball. He's not a precision passer. And when I asked Ken Wisenhunt what the identity of his offense is, he said, I don't know yet. We're still working on that.
Thanks, Chris.
I don't think that's a surprise. They're trying to figure out what Derek does good.
3 wide receivers in. 2 backs are Hightower and Wright. Anderson on 3rd and long. Pressured. He throws and completes to Larry Fitzgerald. Taken out of bounds by Steve Gregory. That's almost a mismatch with the tall Fitzgerald against Steve Gregory, the safety. Derek Anderson trying to relive the 2007 season when he became the #1 quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Threw for well over 3,000 yards. He had great weapons. Kellen Winslow was his tight end. Braylon Edwards and Joe Juravicius, the wide receivers. He had Jamal Lewis running the football, and he made the Pro Bowl that year. Hightower and Wright in the backfield on 1st down. Off the play fake. Anderson completes again to Fitzgerald. Turns it upfield. Nice move, and he's got a 1st down. Larry Fitzgerald with an outstanding start to the game.
Well, you can't play off Larry Fitzgerald. Now, you got to pick your poison against him, because if you press him, he can get by you in a hurry. But look at this big push, and he's going to drive it off and then just stop. I mean, that's easy pickings. And he'll do that all day. He reads that DB. As soon as the DB in off coverage gets into his back pedal, Larry knows right away he's got some type of a deep principle. He's going to put the brakes on and stop and take what the defense gives him.
5 catches, 43 yards for Larry Fitzgerald. 1st down at the Chargers 40. Anderson steps up and goes deep, and he's got Williams. He overthrows him. Stephen Williams had a step on Antoine Cason. And the safety as well, Steve Gregory.
It's a great play call. He had exactly what he wanted. You'll see him come down the seam right here. Number 14, Stephen Williams, combination route with Larry Fitzgerald. And he's able to split the corner and the safety, and Derek overthrows him. They like this guy a lot, though. College free agent out of Toledo. Said he's a great leaper. He's 6'5". He'll be a matchup problem. But clearly Sam Raw in the pro game.
Tough to explain why he didn't get drafted, but he was signed right away after the draft by the Cardinals. Everybody out. Anderson throws short, and the completion down to the 35-yard line to the tight end, Ben Patrick.
Brought down by
Stephen Williams and Max Komar seeing a lot of time already with injuries to Steve Breston, who underwent knee surgery. He'll test the knee this week. Maybe back next week, definitely after the bye, and early Doucette, who should be back in a couple of weeks after the Cardinals bye week, which is in 2 weeks.
Like I said, most teams carry 6 receivers. In this game today, they got 5 new ones from the end of last year.
3rd and 5. Anderson steps up, being pressured, and they got it. Kevin Burnett got there for the sack. And credit the secondary of the Chargers. They covered well because Anderson couldn't find anybody open.
Yeah, he couldn't pull the trigger. They were in man coverage. There was nowhere to go with the ball. And Kevin Burnett runs around Tim Hightower. You'll see Burnett, he's going to come from over here, and he's going to get around Timmy Hightower right here, 99, boom. Hightower's looking left. Oh, they come inside. He runs a little stunt with the defensive end, came inside, and Hightower just didn't stay with him long enough.
And Graham, good high punt. Darren Sproles waves for the fair catch. Takes it at the 13-yard line. So the Chargers go on offense for the second time, holding a 7-0 lead. Support the NFL's A Crucial Catch breast cancer awareness campaign by bidding on authentic game day NFL pink products and experiences at NFL.com/auction. Proceeds benefit the American Cancer Society. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, beginning today in the NFL. From the 13, Mike Tolbert straight ahead, 4 yards on the play.
I'll say this, Billy Davis, the defensive coordinator for Arizona, has got a lot of new guys on his defense, and he's trying to grow the young guys right. I think when you look at Greg Toller, Darrell Washington, some of the young guys on that defense, but we've already seen in this game a couple of busted coverages. The touchdown to Antonio Gates, there's no question in my mind that was a mix-up in coverage. Adrian Wilson was playing one thing, Greg Toller was playing the other. Cannot have mental errors against a great offense like the Chargers. They'll pick you apart.
Tolbert and Hester in the backfield, swing it out to Tolbert. Joey Porter is there, he slips it. Mike Tolbert is so low to the ground. He's 5'9", 245 pounds. He is heavy, low to the ground. You can't tackle him with one arm.
Well, and he's pretty nifty, too. That's what you got to like about him. Joey Porter's got an opportunity to get him in space in the open field, and he's just going to shake him down. He weighs as much as Joey. Sticks that right foot, that cleat in the ground, and able to burst to the outside.
13-yard pickup as we come to the end of the first quarter. San Diego Chargers, they know offense. They've had 11 consecutive games with over 300 yards offense. Phillip Rivers makes it go. He threw the touchdown pass to Antonio Gates. Chargers lead 7-0. Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan, Chris Myers here in San Diego start the second quarter. The Chargers with a first down at the 30-yard line out of the shotgun. Darren Sproles. Nice hold, takes a hard hit. It's up to the 38-yard line. That last swing pass, by the way, to Mike Tolbert was officially ruled a run because it was a lateral pass. So give Tolbert a 13-yard pickup.
Pretty good double team here on Calais Campbell. You're going to see him wash him down right here. Look at that crease. I mean, there is a natural bubble right there. They're able to get the double team and then get some leak out on with Dillman out onto Darrell Washington. That's too easy. That's too easy. Now they challenge you so much with the receivers and with Antonio Gates that you'll see everybody move with Gates, which opens it up the other way.
Fullback Hester back in the backfield. Tolbert carrying, flag on the play. Tolbert ran into Adrian Wilson, pushed him back and lunged forward for enough for the first down, but let's check out the flag.
This could be on Joey Porter. Defensively in the
Offside. Defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Another error, and I think that's a small error. It's 5 yards, but you have a good stop, and then you give them 5 yards. And I think when you're Ken Wisenhunt, and he knew coming in, we've got to seize our opportunities when there's times to make plays. We got to make plays. In this first quarter, that has not happened with these Arizona Cardinals in several different areas.
And the mistakes, that holding penalty negated a touchdown. 2 tight ends in. Randy McMichael, number 81, shifts. Off the play fake, Rivers rolling. Being chased by Clark Higgins, throws it away. He's out of the pocket, so there's no intentional grounding. First incompletion of the game for Phillip Rivers.
I am so impressed talking to Phillip Rivers, and he is the best quarterback that nobody knows anything about. I'm telling you, he is really, really good. And I think one thing about him is the last couple of years, the guy has changed his body. I think we were here a few years ago doing the game. His knee was huge. He had health issues. He has leaned out to me. He's gotten in the weight room. He's got better movement skills than he used to have. And when you put all that together with what he is from the neck up and how accurate he is, you have a top-tier quarterback.
And he's the leader. It's his team. Toss to Sproles. Gets outside, and the ball pops loose. And the Cardinals have recovered it. It's still a live ball. And it is being brought back by Kerry Rhodes into the end zone for a touchdown. What a play. Sproles took a hard hit, Coughed up the football. Toller was in on the hit.
Yeah, Toller put his hat right on it.
And right now the Chargers are stunned. Here it is again.
Here it is. You see Toller's hat. Boom. Actually, his left shoulder, he puts it right on it. Was that ball out before Sproles was down? Hard to tell with all that congestion with those bodies in there. And then did Rhodes stay in? I mean, there's a few question marks here that I'm sure Norv will be throwing the challenge flag.
There's a flag on the field on the far side. The officials are still together. Norv Turner wants to see a replay to see if he should challenge.
And there is a replay going up right now on the big board. Norv needs to talk with his guys up in the press box. What are they seeing?
Gene Steratore has all his officials gathered around him, and I don't know what they're discussing here. And Whisenhunt wants the next play to start, so it'll be a touchdown. Gene?
There is no foul for unsportsmanlike conduct, excessive demonstration after the score. The result of the play is a fumble recovered by Arizona. It is a touchdown.
Kerry Rhodes' first career touchdown, or his second, I'm sorry, his second career touchdown.
He definitely stayed inbounds. There's no question about that. Looks like Norv was satisfied that it was clearly a fumble too, because I haven't seen the challenge flag come out.
I thought it was a fumble on the hit. It stands as they get ready for the extra point. Put through by Jay Feely, and the defense with Kerry Rhodes alertly picking it up and returning it 42 yards for the touchdown. Cardinals tie it.
Today's game is sponsored by Coors Light, the new Silver Bullet aluminum pint from Coors Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. By Lowe's. Lowe's, let's build something together. And by Cadillac, the new standard of the world.
Kerry Rhodes, one of the newer Cardinals, said he's part of the best safety tandem in the league with Adrian Wilson. He also pointed out that as a member of the Jets last year, the Jets came to San Diego and upset the Chargers on this very field. Part of the information he helped his Cardinal teammates with today coming into the game. And now off a big play, Sam, it's a whole different game for the Cardinals in San Diego.
Thanks, Chris.
He said it got old in New York.
Yeah.
Said he didn't feel wanted the last couple of years and absolutely loves it in Arizona.
Darren Sproles from the 7. Makes one-man miss, goes to the sideline, runs into the kicker, Jay Feely, and goes out of bounds after a good return to the 37-yard line, 30-yard return. Tomorrow on an all-new house, time is running out for a desperate woman, and the team has only one chance to uncover the truth. It's an intense race against the clock with an ending that'll leave you stunned. An all-new house tomorrow at 8/7 Central on Fox.
Well, time's running out in terms of him going to be able to join us for a game this year.
Right. He's got an open invitation.
Come on, Hugh.
Tolbert and Hester in the backfield. Chargers from the 37. Tolbert picks it outside. Mike Tolbert pushed out of bounds. Another good run down to the 40-yard line. Hey, it's time to check out the Eagles and the Redskins again. For that, let's go back to Kurt Menefee.
Michael Vick, always dangerous out of the pocket and in danger. Sandwiched between a couple of Redskins. He has to leave the game with what appears to be an injured chest or rib cage. Kevin Cobb, now in a quarterback. Philadelphia in a big hole early in the second quarter to Donovan McNabb and company, 14-3. Sam and Tim?
Thanks, Kurt.
Kevin, we love you. We need you.
Kevin
Are you
Cobb,
ready to go?
You're ready. You're the guy. You're our future. 23-yard run by Tolbert down to the 40. Here's Tolbert again. Nice move. Man, is he impressive. Tolbert inside the 30 to the 28. A first down. He picks up 12, 20, 35 yards on the last two runs for Mike Tolbert.
And they are just creasing him at the line of scrimmage. Everyone will always say Norv Turner, great play caller, loves to throw the rock. Well, watch the push. They crash him down there. Then you're going to see a little bender cutback for Tolbert. You see that? They caught Kenny Awebama in a slant, and then they were able to wash everybody else down. Dillman getting on Darrell Washington, taking him into the safety. The left side of the offensive line just opened a huge hole there.
There was some movement on the line. Flags fly, they stop it. That's a false start on the Chargers. Looked like Brandon Dombrowski, the left tackle, moved.
False start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Dombrowski's done a pretty good job at left tackle. Now, Marcus McNeil is re-signed and will be eligible in a couple of weeks to play again for the Chargers. Dombrowski will be moved to guard when McNeil comes in and takes over the left tackle spot.
Yeah, I agree with that. The guy's a very good run blocker. There's Marcus McNeil right there, their left tackle. You know, Norv loves to run the football. Nobody ever talks about that with Norv Turner, that he is committed to the running game.
Back into 33, Rivers. Wanted to put it up long, go short. Antonio Gates with room to move. He stumbles and falls down short of a 10, but it's a first down. 22-yard pickup. That's a nice catch
Gates
by
right there. Watch him go to the inside. He's going to go this way, and then he's going to pivot back to the outside. Adrian Wilson's on him. He's late trying to get over the top just based on where his alignment was pre-snap. Gates realizes it, sticks his cleat in the ground, pivots back, and Phillips able to find him.
499 career receptions for Antonio Gates. Andy McMichael motions. Ryan Matthews trying to get outside and is shoved down by Vince Rhodes at the 5-yard line. And again, the Chargers offense with a lot of talent. You know, wherever Norv Turner has gone, he has done a great job. He's a great offensive mind, and he really challenges defenses.
Oh, he's punch, counter punch kind of guy, and Billy Davis knows it, the defensive coordinator for Arizona. He said when he and Norv were on the same staff in San Francisco, they used to talk shop and throw it around. You know, and what do you do in this situation? They were both on that staff up there. There's Billy. Norv is awesome. He is so underrated around the league as a play caller.
2nd and 4. The toss to Tolbert. Couple of blocks. He goes in. Touchdown. He got a big block from his fullback, Jacob Hester. What an opening and a nice cutback. And boy, who deserves it more on that drive than Mike Tolbert?
Outstanding vision. And they're just got the bigs out there. Dombrowski pulls out. It looks like it's going to the perimeter. And then you've got Jacob Hester. Watch Hester here. He's going to chop down 51, Paris Lennon. There's the big block. They overplayed the perimeter. You had Paris Lennon, the linebacker, coming inside out. You get knocked down, knocked off your feet down on the goal line, you're going to give up creases. Terrific block by Hester.
5-yard touchdown run for Mike Tolbert, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. 5 plays, 63 yards. Chargers regain the lead. It's 14-7. Next weekend on FSN, it's a college football Saturday triple header. We've got a Big 12 game for you, Baylor and Texas Tech. Then we've got a Pac-10 game, UCLA and Cal. And then we've got Colorado and conference rival Missouri. It's all on college football Saturday next weekend on FSN. LaRod Stevens Howling on the return. Good coverage this time by the Chargers. Howling down at the 27-yard line. Chargers offense is clicking. Run game going as well as the pass game. Mike Tolbert with a running touchdown.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty.
Going into training camp, John McNulty, the wide receivers coach, thought he had a fine compliment. Larry Fitzgerald, Early Doucette, and Steve Breston. Well, Breston and Doucette are out injured, so it's all on Larry Fitzgerald and these rookie wide receivers, Stephen Williams, Max Comar, have seen a lot of action today. Cardinals start from the 27. Beanie Wells in the game for the first time, bounces it back outside, and a good carry up to the 35-yard line. And for more on the wide receivers of the Cardinals, let's go to Chris Myers. Chris.
Well, Sam, John McNulty told me in pregame warm-ups he thought the young receivers would be okay. He wanted Fitzgerald to set the tone for them. He said back in the preseason after the first game they had a scared look in their eyes, and Ken Wisenhunt said show them confidence and they will play with confidence, and he believes in them. Part of the design in this game was to get the ball early to Fitzgerald so that it would free up those young receivers later in the game.
And they did just that. Larry Fitzgerald with 5 catches in the first quarter. Beanie Wells breaks a tackle, gets a first down. Beanie Wells back healthy. He runs hard, and he went straight ahead for a first down.
Sam, you were talking about the wide receivers. Larry Fitzgerald needs help. Look, he's going to bust single coverage most of the time. Double coverage, he's going to be able to hit it and bust it most of the time. But in order to avoid those double teams, they got to move them. They got to motion them. They got to get mismatches, as you saw there with Lofa Tatupu, the linebacker. And then when he is doubled, you got to have a second receiver that's ready to step up. Anquan Bolden did it for years here. They need to find that second weapon. I don't think they can wait until the other guys get healthy.
Reagan Malia is the fullback. Beanie Wells, third straight carry. This time he shoved back. Stephen Cooper, who missed the last couple of weeks with an injury, back in the lineup, led the charge for the tackle.
Yeah, let me tell you what's happening here is they're slanting the front, and then Cooper's going to finish. Watch the slant here, and then Coop's just going to go get it. Stephen Cooper here. They'll slant the front. Jacques Cisser right there, and then he just reads the play. He's able to key it and then diagnose what's coming at him, and he goes and gets himself a tackle for loss. This defense that Ron Rivera is dialing up for these guys, Sam, there's not a big superstar. I don't think there's anybody in the league right now playing better team defense when you look at how all 11 play together.
Tim Hightower in the backfield. Rod Stevens howling motions. From the 40, Anderson outside, and it's dropped. Stephen Williams, that's something that's been developing. In preseason, he was holding on to everything. Since the regular season started, he's got the drops.
Yeah, well, let's see what he does with his head and his vision as the ball's coming at him. He puts the brakes on perfect. You see that? As he went to catch it just before the ball hit his hands, he looked to the right, and Larry Fitzgerald's going, bud, you got to watch it all the way in. Don't worry about it. Make the catch, then worry about running.
3rd and 12. They have to get to the San Diego 48 for a first down. Max Komar in as the third wide receiver. Chargers showing blitz. They drop back in coverage. Anderson is tripped up. Sean Phillips beat Brandon Keith, the right tackle, and sacked Derek Anderson.
Well, watch his get off. He's right here. He's gone before anybody else gets off. Look at that. Way to anticipate the snap count. Brandon Keith had no chance as he's able to turn the corner. Sean Phillips get a handout, which forces Derek to step up and then gets cleaned up by Travis Johnson. All about get off and anticipating the snap count when you're a good pass rusher.
Sean Phillips' 3rd sack of the season. Chargers' 2nd sack of the game. Ben Graham is back to punt. Good defensive series for the Chargers. Graham, off the side of his foot, wobbles and bounces out of bounds inside the Chargers' 40-yard line. Chargers will get it at the 35 when we come back. Tonight on Fox, how does an animated show go live? Find out on The Cleveland Show, followed by Family Guy and the epic season premiere of American Dad. All new episodes start with The Simpsons at 8, 7 Central tonight on Fox. Right here in San Diego, Chargers from the 35, the 14-7 lead. Mike Tolbert into a pile, little gain on the play. Let's check out what's happening in baseball. Time for an update on the race in the National League. Here's Kurt Menefee.
The San Diego Padres must win today against the Giants to force a one-game playoff tomorrow. It's not going their way. San Francisco's Aubrey Huff drives in Freddie Sanchez. The Giants lead 2-0 in the bottom of the 4th. If the Giants win, they win the NL West. The Braves won earlier today, Sam, so they have already clinched the wild card. The Padres' only chance is to win the division.
You got it. Thanks for that update, Kurt. What a shame it would be. The Padres had such a good year to not make it. Here's the pass to the fullback, Jacob Hester. He's got a first down up at the 47-yard line. Just a short pass thrown by Rivers, who continues to be on the mark.
And a good job here. Again, a good play call. And Phillip, you got to locate this guy, Adrian Wilson. Now, I want you to watch Phillip. They're going to go the other way. Going to get the pass protection. Now they're going to roll it to the right. They got all those guys run off in coverage because of the threat of the deep ball. That's just really well designed. And then you leak out your fullback.
Rivers 6 for 7, 100 yards, 1 touchdown. 2 tight ends in for the Chargers. Kenny Weberman, number 91, in the defensive end for the Cardinals. Colbert, good hole. And he's got close to 10. He's got 10. And that's a first down as Mike Tolbert continues to roll. He's got 82 yards already in the first half. He's had a great game already. Nice catch.
Using his head.
Another little swing pass that became a lateral pass and turned into a run. This was a 23-yard run. And then a 12-yarder, a 5-yarder for a touchdown. He had another 12-yarder mixed in. Good day for Mike Tolbert. 10 carries, 82 yards.
Clearly he's got power. Doesn't have a whole bunch of speed, but clearly power. And I think vision, just watching him, is his best asset.
Ryan Matthews in, took the toss, turns it into a nice gain. Flag on the play. We'll check that out. That run is close to 10 yards.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's on Legadou Nene for holding Joey Porter.
You're usually right about these things.
I mean, right at the point of attack. And that definitely allowed him to spring it to the perimeter, the hold on Joey.
Gene Steratore.
Holding. Offense. Number 11. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay.
You got him again.
Yeah, here he is here. Now he's going to try to seal Porter. The ball's coming out here. Joey's reading it, trying to disengage, can't disengage. Because Nene's loving him up with a hug.
Now that negates what would have been a first down. Takes the ball back to the Arizona 46-yard line. Chargers already have 213 yards offense here in the first half. First and 20. First and 13. On the spot of the foul. Rivers in some pressure. Going low. It's incomplete. Trying to get it to Legadou Nene.
How are they handling Darnell Dockett? Well, watch this. He's able to beat Tyrone Green, but watch what Jeremy Clary does to him as he swims by Green. Watch this. Watch this. Whap. Wow. And he'll have two guys on him most of the day. See, what Clary does is he checks outside. As soon as he saw the backer drop and knew that he wasn't threatened by the outside linebacker rush, he looked back inside. They call it looking for work. He found some work on the ear hole with Darnell Dockett.
Second and 13. Rivers works out of the shotgun. Rivers under pressure, throwing and completes it to Antonio Gates for Gates' 500th career reception.
You see
He's
what
out of
happens
bounds at the 34.
See what happens when you don't put two guys on Dockett? He is going to light Phillip Rivers up right when Phillip gets rid of the ball. This time he comes with a rib, perfectly clean hit. How much respect do you have for Phillip Rivers to throw that kind of out route with pressure in his face and to put it right on the money?
The cheers are for number 85, Antonio Gates, who becomes the 7th tight end in NFL history to catch 500 passes. Hester, the fullback, carries for a first down inside the 30-yard line. Who are the other tight ends? Well, the man on top by a long shot is Tony Gonzalez, still going strong in Atlanta. Shannon Sharp at 8:15. Ozzie Newsome, the great Cleveland Brown, at 6:62. Kellen Winslow, the Charger fans know him. Jason Witten still going strong in Dallas, and Frank Wycheck of Tennessee. And joining them in the 500 club, Antonio Gates. Gates in his 8th year out of Kent State. Straight ahead, Mike Tolbert. And as he gets down to the 26-yard line. Let's go to Chris Myers. He always has a little extra to give us.
Well,
Chris?
yes, Sam, on Friday's practice afterwards, Antonio Gates was truly humble when we brought up the idea of him hitting this milestone. He mentioned the guys like Shannon Sharp and Tony Gonzalez that paved the position. He said it's an honor, and he plays for the legacy of that tight end position. Wants to be thought of as a guy who always laid it on the line every time out and caught the football.
And he does. Thanks, Chris. 9th play of this drive. 5 runs, 3 passes. Who's pass number 4? Rivers, wide open. Touchdown! Antonio Gates with another one. He was wide open. 26-yard touchdown pass, and the Chargers offense is rolling.
Well, what a great play call again by Norv Turner, and Billy Davis knows it. I mean, they had a full-blown run formation out there, had them all congested up in the inside. And Antonio Gates, about his second step, was wide open. And just the way he released inside, Paris Lennon trying to run with him, no chance.
That's a mismatch.
Now they've got these guys on their heels big time.
Nate Kading's extra point is good. It's a big day for Antonio Gates.
And here it is right here. Here's Gates. He's just going to go right down the middle. Paris Lennon, no way. No way. I'm amazed at watching Gates week after week after week, and I think a big part of it is Norv Turner and how he schemes him up. How could he get so open? We saw it last week watching the Seattle game. I mean, how does Antonio Gates, the prolific tight end, get so open like this?
Everybody knows how good he is. Everybody game plans how to go against him, and they can't do it. Part of it is he's got a great quarterback throwing him the ball, but Gates is marvelous in getting open. 22 catches on the season and 2 touchdowns today for Antonio Gates, giving him 6 touchdowns this season.
And Norv, again, I think just scheming it up and game planning and getting him right in the right spot. Showing all the bigs, having a 3-man route, catches him with 0 safeties over the top. No chance.
Chargers with a 21-7 lead, 258 yards total offense here in the first half. Nate Kading to kick it off. LaRod Stevens howling at the 3. Gonna find some room. Picked up a couple of good blocks, and he is wrestled down as he crossed the 25-yard line. Brandon Seiler on the tackle, 23-yard return.
So impressed in talking to Antonio Gates. We got to spend about 45 minutes with him on Friday. And the guy was a great basketball player at Kent State, and said, you know, football came easy for him. It didn't really work at it, just said he made plays and ended up kind of this, wow, this is pretty easy, and didn't have to put a lot of work into it, and then kind of realized, you know what, football is my sport, and he started getting coached at it. Norv Turner says he does things at the line of scrimmage like wide receivers do when you look at his footwork and his speed and agility.
Rainey Wells in the backfield for Arizona. Going to start from the 26. Anderson sends everybody out, throwing, and is tipped. Antoine Cason getting the left arm and getting Larry Fitzgerald to break it up. Antoine Cason, who played his college football at Arizona, well known down in the Tucson parts.
Great athlete, and you know what, the guy has sat Cason for a couple of years behind Cromartie and has figured out the position. And again, I think when you look at these guys defensively, Sam, not a bunch of stars, but guys that really understand the scheme, having now been together for a little while.
5 defensive backs for the Chargers. Donald Strickland in, 3 wide receivers for Arizona. On 2nd and 10, Anderson in trouble. They got him. 3rd sack of the game, and it's Sean Phillips again. His 2nd of the game and his 4th of the season.
You're going to try to block him with a tight end. Ben Patrick is able to get the hands down. Now he dips. Now there's nowhere to go, but he keeps the motor hot, keeps it running. Nowhere for Derek Anderson to go with the football, and that's a gravy sack. That's a cleanup sack. When you're already into past your rush, and then you look and still have an opportunity to track him down because of the coverage is so good behind it.
Andre Roberts, number 12, the rookie, 3rd-round draft pick, is in as a 4th wide receiver. Anderson throws, intercepted by Sean Phillips. Phillips takes it in, touchdown. A sack on one play, and on the next play an interception and a return for a touchdown by Sean Phillips. And the Chargers are piling it on now.
Well, and they're going to run a slant between the backers right here. Watch the eyes of Derek Anderson. He's going to eyeball it the whole way. Never takes his eyes off the slant to Max Komar. Phillips is reading his eyes. Gets the pick, and then now Derek's going to get blocked by Giles Tucker. Probably the only guy that had a good enough angle to go get Sean Phillips. Phillips just read the eyes, made the catch, got a touchdown. Whoa.
Second career interception return for a touchdown for Sean Phillips. This one was 31 yards. For Derek Anderson, it's not going well.
And a guy already
have a big 28-7 lead.
And a guy already lacking confidence, and you could get that when we talked to him yesterday. The guy's loaded with skill sets, clearly. From the neck up, he's having issues from a confidence standpoint. This game, this pro game, is so much about confidence. It was waning coming in, and there's no doubt in my mind that it's worse now than what it was last night. And then Ron Rivera, I think, just knowing how to play this guy. And knowing that he's going to stare guys down. Just read your keys, get to your landmarks, and read the quarterback's eyes.
See the defense. The Chargers have played well in two of the three areas of pro football. They played well on offense, they played well on defense. Their special teams let them down in game 1 in Kansas City and last week in Seattle. Today it's a lot better and things are going well for San Diego.
Yeah, not an issue today. When you talk about a short field, that's a turnover where the opponent's getting it down on in your territory. We call that sudden change on the other side of the 50, and they've responded very, very well to any of those adverse situations.
Chargers have 2 interceptions, 3 sacks. That kick by Kading goes out of bounds. It'll give the Cardinals the ball at the 40-yard line. Next week on the NFL on Fox, some more great action comes your way. It all begins with the all-new Ford Edge Drive 1 pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Big games next week, Green Bay and Washington. Later on, the Saints at Arizona.
I wouldn't be surprised. There he is. I figured that was coming.
Wow.
Talked to Wiz about that last night. I said, is there any chance we're going to see the backup quarterback? Well, because I won't have a quick hook on Derek, but if he's not out there, just like I've always done, I will put the next guy in. Now we're seeing the next guy.
That is undrafted rookie Max Hall out of Brigham Young, who had a good preseason and now is in for the second time this season. He came in the Atlanta game in week 2. Who won interception in that game. Ball throws short to Fitzgerald, and he's got it up at the 45-yard line. His 6th catch of the game. Let's find out some more on Max Hall. Who's got the info? Chris Myers, right, Chris?
That's it. Well, Ken Wisenhunt in a hurry said warm-up. He got a few warm-up tosses in after the interception and ran right out there. The winningest quarterback in Brigham Young history. He's from Mesa, Arizona, so a local favorite, high school player of the year. Grew up a Cardinal fan, but they like his moxie, his football IQ. So there's been a quarterback change. Max Hall is in for the bench and beat up Derek Anderson. The Chargers lead at home. We'll have more from San Diego on the NFL on Fox.
That's the Chargers offensive line. A lot of smiles. They've played well in this first half. Sean Merriman, injured linebacker on the sideline. Harry English is also injured, but the Chargers right now with a big 28-7 lead. 2 minutes to go. 4 wide receivers in for Arizona with Max Hall, the quarterback. Hall is 6'1", 205, 25 years old out of BYU. Throws short again. It's caught for a first down. Down to the 45-yard line goes Stephen Williams. Williams holding on. 10-yard pickup on the play. Hurry up offense.
There we go. Look at that. Clock will stop there for a second.
Empty backfield. Everybody out. Hall in trouble. They've got him and don't let go. They had him by the ankle. Antonio Garay would not let go. He grabbed his jersey. Giles Tucker got in there to finish it off.
Garay is in so fast. I thought it was a screenplay. He is going to go right by Lyle Sendeline. He just swims over the top and then just hangs on. I mean, typically you don't see those inside swim moves work very well in the National Football League because the offensive linemen are so good in their sets and getting their hands on your chest. Lyle Sendeline had no chance as Garay swam right by him.
Arizona uses a timeout. They have 2 remaining. 4th sack of the game for the San Diego Chargers.
And here's the timeouts right up here for the viewers. When they're lit up like that, you see Arizona's got 2 left. San Diego's got 2 left with the little lights.
Don't forget postseason baseball coming up on Fox. We've got the National League Championship Series beginning October the 16th, followed by the World Series right here on Fox. And as Kurt told you moments ago in the update, The San Francisco Giants are leading the San Diego Padres 2-0. Atlanta won today. They are in. Padres must come back to win to force a playoff tomorrow. Another sack as Hall is taken down by Travis Johnson. Everybody getting into the act. And the rotation for the Chargers, their 5th sack of the game.
No game.
Yeah, worst nightmare for Ken Wisenhunt to come in here and have to get one-dimensional early in this game. Now your playbook's cut in half. You know you're throwing the rock, obviously right before half with the time left. It really plays right into the hands of the San Diego Chargers.
3rd and long. They have to get to the Chargers 35 for a first down. 4 wide receivers in. Hightower in the backfield. Hall gets time. Throws to Williams. He's hit hard. Short of the first down. Hard hit by Steve Gregory, the safety. But Williams with a good job of hanging on. 18-yard pickup.
How about the throw by Max Hall, just lasering that one right down the seam. This looks like the Arizona Cardinal offense that we're used to. Spread out football, 10 personnel, 1 running back, 4 wide receivers, and driving the ball down the field.
What they liked about Hall in preseason was he picked up the offense right away. Very smart, sees the field well. They drafted John Skelton. They moved up and took him in the 5th round out of Fordham. Not a big football school, but he's a big kid. He's 6'6", 245. But Hall, who doesn't have the physical skills, the natural physical tools of Derek Anderson or John Skelton, a bright guy who's picked it up very quickly.
He really has, and everyone will talk about Derek won the job, and that's why Matt Leinart's gone. Max Hall, to me, is a bigger reason why Matt Leinart is gone. Absolutely. They didn't think this guy was going to be able to come in and function as good as he's been able to function in the offense.
4th and 2 for the Cardinals. Late first half. Cardinals want to get something on the board. Fitzgerald motions. We've got a whistle, and the Chargers call timeout. Stay with us at halftime for the Visa halftime report. We'll send you back to the studio in LA. Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy have scores and highlights from around the league. Fox Sports Ticker keeps you updated with up-to-the-second stats. We didn't mention Michael because Michael did the pregame show. Now it's on his way back to New York, where tonight he'll be part of the new Ring of Honor at the Meadowlands Stadium. Giants bringing in a lot of their past heroes, and Michael Strahan certainly one of those.
Awesome.
So here, as Norm Turner looks on, his offense has been outstanding. Let's check in with Chris Myers downstairs. Chris.
Well, Sam, just a little bit more on Max Hall, and to reiterate, Derek Anderson is healthy. He just has been benched. Hall's the nephew of Danny White, the former Dallas Cowboy quarterback, and his size, some questioned at 6'1". Maybe that's why he wasn't drafted, but the Cardinals viewed the performance of Drew Brees and the way he ran that offense, and they're similar size. They think he can be that kind of quarterback eventually, at least the way he runs an offense.
Thanks, Chris. 4th and 2, 4 wide receivers. Andre Roberts in motion. Hall outside behind. He threw behind Max Komar. It's incomplete. And the ball goes over on down. That time, throw was a bad one by Max Hall.
Yeah, it was a good call. It was a good route. They had the corner out leverage. Komar was going to pick up the first down, but Max Hall put it on the back shoulder instead of the front shoulder. And here it is. You're going to see the out route. You see he's past the first down stick, and you see the ball's behind instead of out in front. You know Max Hall's tough if Randy White's his uncle.
That's right. Football man, football family. Darren Sproles carrying. Close to the 40-yard line. As time winds down to the first half. It's funny, the twists in the game. Arizona had the opening kickoff, drove down deep into Chargers territory, had a 22-yard touchdown run, but it was called back because of holding, and then Derek Anderson threw an interception. He threw another one in the second quarter, and Max Hall replaced him. It's been a big day for Antonio Gates. The Visa halftime report is next. Welcome back to San Diego, where the Chargers have a 28-7 lead on the Arizona Cardinals. Moments away from the Start of the third quarter. Sam Rose along with Tim Ryan. Chris Myers down on the field. What a first half for San Diego. Offensively, great game for Antonio Gates. Terrific play by Mike Tolbert. And Phillip Rivers hasn't had to be the star. He's just been good.
Well, and he's been very efficient. I mean, he's 8 of 10. The running game has been outstanding. San Diego has done everything they've wanted to do. You look at their balance, running the ball, throwing the ball. Defensively, they've been able to force a couple of turnovers. They had the touchdown. Sean Phillips with the interception that he ran back. He's been out of his mind, Sean Phillips. And then now Arizona is one-dimensional. So I would think Max Hall has got to really give them some kind of spark in the second half. Clearly, they'll be throwing the football a lot, and Ken Wisenhunt knows that. They've got to get it protected. Sacked 5 times, 5 sacks in the first half of this game for the Chargers defense.
And mistakes crept into Arizona's game early.
Yeah.
We talked about the holding penalty that negated a touchdown, and then the interceptions thrown by Derek Anderson. And when you're playing against a high-powered offense like this, you can't make a lot of mistakes. And as Ken Wisenhunt said to us last night, when the opportunities to make a play are there, we have to execute. They haven't.
No, they've made mistakes. Derek obviously was staring guys down with both of his interceptions. They had to make the change to Max Hall. They're hoping that he can give him a little bit of a spark here and get it going.
Jay Feely's kick, 4 yards deep, brought out by Darren Sproles. Sproles is wrapped up at the 15-yard line. Play well covered. We go downstairs to Chris Myers.
All right, dodging the chain gang here. Ken Wisenhunt on the way in was adamant about Derek Anderson not getting the job done. Missed opportunities, missed receivers. Hall is his guy for the second half. I asked him beyond this game. He said, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the second half going with Max Hall. He said, obviously, the one-on-one coverage with Antonio Gates is not working. As for Norv Turner, Mike Tolbert was part of the game plan coming in. Expect to see a lot more of him. He said he's earned the right to carry the ball and delivered for us. And on the other side, Norv said, if with a young quarterback in there, we're going to go after him. Sam and Tim, as if they haven't already gone after the quarterback.
They have. Thanks, Chris. And here's Tolbert straight ahead. Powers up 4 yards up to the 19-yard line. And the helmet comes off.
I like the fact they're sticking with Tolbert, and I think Chris said it. Number one, he's earned it with what he's been able to do. And Norv said he was going to stick with him down in the goal line, but the rush yards and the balance really by San Diego in the football game. But you're achieving a couple of things. Tolbert is getting his carries, which he deserves, and Ryan Matthews, your first-round pick, is coming off an ankle injury. Why get him out there in a game like this and get that ankle retweaked?
Good point. You don't have to rush him back the way Tolbert is carrying the ball. Gates in motion. Rivers, screen pass. And it's Jacob Hester, the fullback.
Pass
So they
complete
get
to
everybody
Jacob
involved
Hester.
in the offense. And Hester takes it up to the 40-yard line. Adrian Wilson makes the tackle. 21-yard gain. A little of everything from the Chargers.
And I love screens against man coverage, and that's exactly what happened. Darrell Washington was on the fullback. He leaked out to the right. Darrell ran with him, but got chopped down by Tyrone Green out in the open field, which gave Hester that extra running room.
2 tight ends in, Antonio Gates and Randy McMichael. Gates with 5 catches. There's Ryan Matthews along the sideline. Billy Davis, the defensive coordinator of the Arizona Cardinals. Colbert straight ahead, bangs into a couple of bodies. It's up to the 43-yard line. Calais Campbell on the tackle. Colbert just a solid player. Another one of those players that's made a mark on special teams, but a special teams regular. And whenever he's gotten the opportunity, we talked about him starting as a fullback, but whenever he's had to come in and run the ball, he's run it well. Very effective.
And A.J. Smith, the general manager, has done a great job getting those free agent type guys that nobody knows anything about, and they come in and eventually, as you said, start on specials and end up being very productive players here in San Diego.
Little confusion for the Chargers, so a timeout called for by Phillip Rivers.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By How to Train Your Dragon on DVD and Blu-ray Friday, October 15th. By the new 2011 Lexus IS, wheel precision. And by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
We are right near SeaWorld where they ride the whales. That's something we are not going to do.
Oh, they see me coming, they dive. Believe me.
I know you're adventurous, but we're not doing that. 2nd and 7 for the Chargers at the 43. Colbert. Not much there. Good job by the Cardinals up front. Stopped Tolbert short of the line of scrimmage.
Think about the offense and what they've been able to do today against this Arizona defense. And Norv Turner has certainly relied on his tight end, Antonio Gates, and his running back. And they've done it so effectively. Is there a receiver on the board there that has a catch in this game today?
None of the
no
wide
punts.
receivers
Think
have
about
caught
this.
it.
No punts and no receivers have caught a football.
Two tight ends in. Chris Wilson joins Antonio Gates. Darren Sproles in the backfield. With Wilson, the tight end, blocking. Rivers gets time. He's got a man, and he makes that completion to the wide receiver, Malcolm Floyd. 30-yard pickup. Well, I guess they heard you. They called timeout. The wide receivers went to Rivers and said, come on, give us a pass.
And he's a very good route runner. Watch here. He's going to show a little bit of an out, then he's going to take it back inside. Double move. He gets Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie to bite on the out route, sneaks it back inside. The safety, Matt Ware, can't get over there on time. And you look at Malcolm Floyd. This guy has been coming on the last couple of years. And again, another one of those guys A.J. Smith found out of nowhere, and they've turned him into a very good football player.
Toss to Sproles. Trying to get outside. Good tackle by Greg Toller, the cornerback. Well, with Vincent Jackson not here, the holdout declined the one-year tender offer. Guys like Malcolm Floyd and Legadou Nane have had to step up, and they've done a good job. They brought in Patrick Creighton as a fourth wide receiver. Buster Davis,
Now you're talking.
the former first-round pick, has stayed healthy.
Yeah, I think now you're talking. And Norm never got to his third and fourth wide receivers when Vincent Jackson was here. It was really about the tight ends and the two wideouts. So I think you will see Creighton and Buster Davis supplement probably right around those same numbers that Vincent Jackson was able to produce.
Randy McMichael motion. Rivers with time. Throwing for Floyd, and he holds on. Great catch by Malcolm Floyd down at the 12-yard line. And Rivers continues to be on target. 11 for 13, 204 yards for Phillip Rivers, 2 touchdown passes.
Yeah, and you got to get protection too, and you're going to see the protection here. Dockett is here. He's going to end up getting pretty good pressure, but Sproles gets enough of them to get him chopped down just enough, opens up the throwing lane, and then there's the accuracy from Phillip Rivers. All working together. Protection, route running, precision throwing.
Two tight ends, McMichael motions, blitz coming, flag on the play, and no gain on the play. Let's check out the flags. A lot of movement in the interior. Gene Steratore will check it out. Chargers have now rolled up 330 yards in total offense.
Defense, number 24, 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Adrian Wilson jumped the gun on the blitz.
Now, penalties is an area where this Arizona team has not been good through the first 3 weeks of the season. And when you're young and you got issues and you lose a lot of superstars, which they clearly did when you go back and look at last year's roster, you don't have a big margin for error.
Ball is down the 8-yard line. It's first down and 5. Colbert, the blocker in front, and into the crowd, led by Paris Lennon, is brought down. Paris Lennon brought in. This is a veteran player that's been around, has done a nice job, played a strong game last week.
Best game I've ever seen him play, Sam, and we've covered him a lot in Green Bay, Detroit, St. Louis. He's always been in a 4-3 defense. Now he's here in the 3-4. He's making the calls. He's making the checks. He was really good last week.
And the other player you saw next to him, number 58, Darrell Washington, is a player they really have high hopes for. Second-round draft pick out of TCU. A lot of speed, learning what NFL defenses are all about. Rivers, pass batted down. Might have been Gabe Watson, number 98, playing in his first game this season. Watson had been inactive the first 3 games, but they put down their first-round draft pick, Dan Williams. He's inactive. They're unhappy with his weight. Watson, who's been working hard these past 3 weeks, getting his first action this season.
Yeah, and you look at them in the red zone defensively with their backs against the wall, and last week against the Raiders, they were solid. This is an area where San Diego has struggled. I mean, they've been down in the red zone offensively more than any team in pro football, but they're right around the middle of the road in terms of the touchdown conversion rate.
Sproles is split out, empty backfield on 3rd and 3. Rivers, some pressure, he rolls, nobody open, and he throws it away. Gabe Watson was putting some pressure on, and that time good coverage by the Cardinals. Nobody open for Phillip Rivers.
Secondary has had their issues in communication. Anytime you see heads turn and you see all those guys, heads turns, hands up, what's going on here? They're trying to figure it out, and I'm telling you, a huge part of it is Norv Turner showing them stuff they have not seen on tape.
Now, a flag was thrown around the 23-yard line near the sideline. See
well,
what
Phillip threw it. He was out of the pocket. It went past the line of scrimmage. I'm pretty sure where the ball went. Even when you're out of the pocket, you got to throw it. It's got to get past the line of scrimmage, or it's intentional grounding.
Offense, number 17. In an attempt to throw the pass away, the ball did not get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's a spot foul and a loss of down. It's 4th down. Good job.
That's a big loss.
Yeah, and it's at about the 5.5-yard line where the line of scrimmage is. So we're looking right about there. Phillip unloads it, and it goes out about the 8. Yep.
Okay, so the flag is thrown. Chargers set back to the 20, and now the field goal try will be a 38-yard try. And Kading is no good. Outside the upright. The first time he has missed in his last 23 field goal attempts in regular season. He missed 3 in the playoffs against the Jets. This one had the distance just outside the upright. Cardinals take over from the 28-yard line. Max Hall hands it off to Beanie Wells. With a pickup of 4 on the play. Wells' 4th carry of the game. Now, Tim, tell us where this ball has to go.
Well, the whole ball's got to be in the inside the outside edge of the upright. So you see right there, if you drew a vertical plane on the outside edge of that upright, the whole football needs to be inside of it. So I thought that was a good call by the official standing right under the goalpost.
Nate Kading had made 64 consecutive field goal tries from 40 yards in before he missed that one from 38. Right motions. Max Hall throwing, and it's almost intercepted. Dropped by Quentin Jammer. Let's check out Houston at Oakland. Kurt Menefee, what's happening?
Well, Houston running back Arian Foster was benched the entire first quarter for disciplinary reasons. Here's a way to get back in the good graces of your head coach. A 73-yard touchdown run against the Raiders, and the Texans are up in the 3rd quarter, 21-14. Sam and Tim?
Hopefully he learned his lesson. Thanks, Kurt. Nice touchdown run, giving Houston the lead. Right here in San Diego. Arizona Cardinals trailing 28-7. Using second-string quarterback Max Hall, replacing Derek Anderson.
There's the pressure.
He's in trouble. Down he goes. 6th sack of the game. Looked like Giles Tucker got there. 6th sack for the Chargers.
And they are just going to man up out on the edges and send 6. And they're going to come from everywhere. Giles Tucker is going to be the guy that finishes it off there. You see 94. Big deep drop. Oh, no chance. No awareness there from Max Hall, just trying to step up in the pocket. Did not realize that Giles Tucker ran around Levi Brown and was coming right at him for the sack.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL.
Safety Steve Gregory was shaken up on that last play. He's okay, walked off under his own power. Smiling on the sideline. The defense did its job. Aaron Sproles is back deep to receive the punt of Ben Graham. Sproles comes up on the run, takes it at the 35. Avoids one man, then he's buried at the 38-yard line.
From the 35.
San Diego Chargers go back on offense where they've been strong, 332 yards. Got some great running from Mike Tolbert. Some of the top performances in early games today. Carson Palmer throwing for 371 yards. Bengals lost in Cleveland. Kyle Orton and Denver won in Tennessee. Kyle Orton passing 50 times. Denver is the #1 passing offense in the league. Sean Hill kept Detroit in the game and lost by 2. Green Bay, Detroit's lost 23 in a row at home. Wide open, Antonio Gates with a catch. Rivers got plenty of time. Gates came open. First down, Chargers at the Arizona 35.
He is flexed out to the right, and you'll end up coming this way as you watch him. 85, he's going to run a post, and then he's going to head for the corner, and now he's going to head back up. Oh, look at right on the numbers. Phillip Rivers throwing to the landmarks. You know, one thing about Phillip, he can throw from any platform. Doesn't have to have his feet set, can be on the run, can be stationary, and his accuracy is ridiculously good.
Colbert cuts it back, slips a tackle, then he slipped and went to the ground at the 27-yard line. Antonio Gates, 6 catches, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. If you have him on your fantasy team, you're having a good day.
I just don't know how he gets that open. And I think a big part of it is defense is trying to get a beat on him and what route he's going to run. And Norm Turner is forever changing it up. Their spacing in their passing game is as good as anybody I've seen in the league in terms of how those receivers spread out and stretch defenses both horizontally and vertically in terms of their coverage.
Cardinals jumped offside. The play going straight ahead to Jacob Hester, the fullback.
Offside. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty results and a first down.
Darnell Dockett called for the penalty, giving the Chargers a first down. Mike Tolbert, by the way, is now at an even 100 yards. 16 carries for 100, averaging 6.3 per carry. What a day, a career high for Mike Tolbert. His first 100-yard rushing game of his NFL career. Part of an offense that is ranked up 367 yards. First down for the Chargers. Everybody out. Rivers drops it off to Tolbert, hit immediately. Good defensive play by Paris Leonard. He was on Tolbert as soon as he caught it.
Talking about Phillip Rivers and his skill sets, I mean, watch the quick release right here. Bang, that ball is out, 3-step drop. The ball's gone. Accuracy on the move. You see it right there. Pocket mobility. Watch him swim up, deliver the ball. He's got terrific toughness. We've seen it today. We saw it right there as he's getting hit. Again, perfectly accurate. And then I don't think there's anybody in the league, and there's some good ones, but that throw a better deep ball than Phillip Rivers. For the last 3 years, when that guy's thrown it deep down the seam, the accuracy is unbelievable.
On 2nd and 15, Sproles taking the handoff. Man, is he quick. Gets down to the 20. Let's see what's happening with Indianapolis at Jacksonville. Here's Kurt Manafee.
Well, following Peyton Manning's first interception of the year, the Jaguars turn it into points. David Garrard to Mercedes Lewis, 15 yards score, and the Jags lead the Colts 21-14 in the 4th quarter. Sam and Tim.
Jacksonville 1-2. Colts are 2-1. Thanks, Kurt, for the update. Chargers here with the ball on the 20-yard line. We get to the 12. First down. Sproles in the backfield with Rivers. Rivers 14 for 17. Gets time. Waits. Looking for someone to come open. Late charge, and he's brought down. Greg Toller, the cornerback, finally came late on the blitz. Actually, when he thought Rivers was going to run, he came on and made the tackle for a loss back to the 30-yard line. Nate Kading is coming on once again and will attempt a field goal. This one will be a 48-yard try. Kading has a career long of 57. And the kick has the distance, and it is good. How about that? Nate Kading redeems himself after missing from 38 earlier. He makes this one from 48. Chargers add to the lead. It's 31-7.
Larry Fitzgerald isn't just a spokesman for breast cancer awareness. He felt it at home. His mom died of breast cancer when he was in college. He still carries his driver's license with him. And to raise awareness, he's putting his money where his heart is this month, donating $1,000 for each catch he makes and $5,000 for each touchdown he has this month. It is breast cancer awareness. Sam, Tim?
And he has 6 catches today, Chris. Thanks very much. There's Rod Stevens howling on the return. Finds a lane. Burst through. Flag comes in as Stevens howling is brought down at the 38-yard line. 30-yard return. Paul Oliver made the tackle for San Diego. We've got a holding call.
During the return, number 56 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down, Arizona.
The proverbial shooting yourself in the foot by the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, they've certainly improved. Look at what they did in the first part of the season, the first 3 games. 32.6 average in kickoff returns against their coverage. Today, 16.8. Steve Crosby there, the old special teams coach, been around a long time, has got it shored up. And then I think another thing, too, I mean, they had a lot of linebackers that either had to play as starters or that were down for injury last week in Seattle, which certainly had an effect.
They made a couple of signings this week, brought in Quinton Teal, who was with them in preseason. He was cut late. They brought him in to play special teams, brought in a couple of other players. Keon Wilson signed from the practice squad, made some adjustments in the coverage, and for the most part, Chargers have played better on special teams.
Yeah, and they should be 3-0 if it wasn't for those blunders on special teams, and which was a little bit surprising because you look at them the last 2 or 3 seasons, they've been one of the tops in the league in terms of getting after people with those coverage units.
Paul Oliver has replaced Steve Gregory at safety. Gregory was shaken up earlier, stays on the bench. The handoff inside. Rod Stevens howling, nowhere to go.
When you talk about the kick coverage, look at this last week with Leon Washington. This is his first touchdown last week. Seattle attacks the L2, which is Antoine Applewhite. You see it there. He gets knocked out of his lane. C.J. Spillman has got to stay inside the numbers. He does not. That's going to create a huge lane right there for Leon Washington. Now the only guy to try to make the tackle is your kicker, Nate Katie. Forget about it. Leon Washington to the house.
He had 2 last week. Coverage has been better this week. Tim Hightower in the backfield on 3rd and 7. To get to the 34 for a first down. Max Hall steps up, throws, diving catch by Larry Fitzgerald. He's got a first down. Good throw, good catch. Fitzgerald's 7th catch of the game. And if you're just tuning in, you want to know about Max Hall. He replaced Derek Anderson in the 2nd quarter after Anderson had thrown his 2nd interception of the game and had not been effective running the offense.
What did Chris say in his report? Max Hall's the nephew of Danny White, the old
White,
Cowboy quarterback.
He's watching.
Yeah.
Wells, Reagan Mauia in the backfield. Ball being chased. He's hit. That's a free ball. And it's recovered by the Chargers. Luis Castillo. Burnett with the sack and the forced fumble. And Castillo with a recovery. Hall never saw it coming, never felt it coming. Burnett's had a strong game for San Diego.
There he is, 2nd level. He's going to go right past Alan Faneca. And Allen just gives him a push. Beanie Wells had to pick up Stephen Cooper. Both backers came up inside. And Burnett knocks the football out. So you get a sack, you get a forced fumble, and now Chargers football again down in Cardinal territory.
7 sacks in the game for the Chargers. Burnett has 2.
Ron Rivera, there he is, the defensive coordinator, and he was blitzing early, but since Max Hall got in the game, forget it. Ron is sending heavy pressure, and he's getting there with it.
Chargers with the ball at the Arizona 15. Ryan Matthews takes it outside. He's got some room. At the 5, dives for the pylon, and touchdown. First NFL touchdown for the #1 draft pick of the San Diego Chargers, Ryan Matthews.
Pretty good block here by Hester. He's going to get Adrian Wilson, who looks confused again in terms of the coverage behind him. And then you see the speed there by Matthews at 220 pounds. He can beat a corner to the pylon for the touchdown, but confusion in the secondary all day long here for the Arizona Cardinals.
Extra point by Nate Kading is good.
And if you're confused, even in the run fit, just for a second of hesitation, you saw it there from Adrian Wilson, outflanked, touchdown.
Offense beating defense. Norv Turner, Billy Davis, friends. They coach together in San Francisco. You can't make mistakes against the San Diego Chargers. Their offense is too good. They've had 21 points off turnovers today.
Yeah, they're going to capitalize for sure. But the chess match between Norv Turner and Billy Davis, Norv's winning it hands down. And I'm telling you, watching the confusion in the secondary today, both in the passing game and in the run game for the Arizona Cardinals, is obvious. Norv is scheming up things offensively that has been really, really difficult for this Arizona defense to adjust to. And they are getting beat in the chess match.
Nate Kading's kickoff coming down to Rod Stevens Holland from the 6. He's tripped up as he crosses the 20-yard line. Good job by the Chargers. Donald Strickland with the tackle. Well, the end of the regular season is here. Final day. And postseason baseball starts this week. We've got the National League Championship Series on October the 16th, followed by the World Series. It's all coming up on Fox. National League Championship Series, October 16th. World Series follows. Stay with Fox. Postseason coverage.
What are those Giants doing?
2-0 over the Padres in the 7th. Padres must win to force a playoff tomorrow in San Diego for the division against the Giants. Williams in motion. Max Hall rolls and throws too low. He was pressured by Sean Phillips. Looks like Indy's on the move against Jacksonville. That's a wild game. Here's Kurt Menefee with an update.
Sam, they're done moving. Joseph Adai takes it in from 2 yards out. His second touchdown of the game, second of the year, capped off a 96-yard, 7-minute drive and tied the game at 21. Sam and Tim.
That's a good ball game. Thanks, Kurt. Right here, the San Diego Chargers. Right, even their record of 2-2 with a big lead. Hightower and Mauia in the backfield for Arizona. Steven Spock, the tight end, motions. Quick outside, Stephen Williams. Fights off Antoine Cason with a stiff arm and gets a couple of yards up to the 26-yard line. Paul Oliver came over to make the tackle.
And I think with the score where it is, I don't want to say the Arizona Cardinals have given up, but I think clearly they're just trying to get Max Hall assimilated into this offense in a real game. We saw some of it at Atlanta, but I think Wiz wants to put too much on his plate right now, and they'll throw caution to the wind, especially when your receivers are so beat up. Larry Fitzgerald, your really only go-to guy when you look at that receiver core. So I think he's just trying to let Max run this offense. Be surprised if this guy doesn't start for the Cardinals next week.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Hall being pressured. They got him again. Another sack. And it's Sean Phillips with his 3rd of the game. The Chargers' 8th of the game. Man, they're all over him.
Well, and they're just beating him. There's nothing about Ron Rivera manufacturing pass rush to get free runners going to the quarterback. The guys at the line of scrimmage are whipping the offensive lineman in front of them. And Sean Phillips, again, just ran right around Brandon Keith.
My feeling is that Max Hall is too inexperienced to keep him in there as an undrafted rookie. I'd go back to Derek Anderson.
Based on what?
Based on the fact that he's been in the NFL. He needs more work in this offense. That's something that Ken Wisenhunt told us yesterday. Sproles on the return from the 23. Good tackle on the play by Jason Wright for Arizona. Ball at the 36. This game is all San Diego. The Cardinals have made mistakes. The Chargers have made them pay. Welcome back to San Diego. Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan, Chris Myers. As we get set to start the 4th quarter, San Diego Chargers in a dominant performance, just shining in all aspects of the game. Fixed some things on special teams. The offense continues to roll. They've rolled up 374 yards. The passing game has been strong and the running game has been strong.
Didn't you get that feeling in talking to Norv Turner on Friday? He came and said, yeah, we're 1-2, but we're a good football
Yeah.
team, and he understands the issues in coverage, and said he was worried about it going into the season, but thinks they're better in so many different areas. And I think another thing that we need to talk about is defensively, they've learned to play without Sean Merriman.
Yes.
I mean, I thought last year was a real challenge for them whenever Sean got hurt, couldn't get back in. I think they're used to it now, and conceptually, they play much better as a team when you look at the 11 guys.
They've got a couple of good players who are still out of the lineup. Larry English is certainly one. Merriman, you mentioned, is out. That certainly affects them. Trying to see what the delay is. I don't know. It could. They're checking on the placement of the ball as to where it should be as they change ends of the field. Gene Steratore is trying to make sure. All right. I think Norv Turner awakened the referee to that because he immediately ran on the field, said, no, it shouldn't be the 31, should be the 36.
Norv doesn't miss anything. He is so sharp.
Chargers 1st and 10 at the 36. Two tight ends in, Gates and McMichael. Ryan Matthews, the running back. Phillip Rivers, 13 for 17, 227 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ryan Matthews gets up to the 39-yard line. Matthews returning to the lineup. Tyrone Green made his first NFL start at right guard, replacing the injured Luis Vasquez, and Green has held up very nicely.
No, he's done a really good job on Darnell Dockett, one of the premier defensive tackles in the game. So you got to be happy about that. He was only up 4 games last year, Tyrone Green. Out of Auburn, 4th-round draft choice. They got beat one time that we were able to chronicle with Darnell Dockett. Other than that, though, you don't notice him, Sam. You're loving it.
Quick out to Nane, picks up some blockers, and a good tackle on the play by Greg Toller. He fought off the block. Otherwise, that could have been a big gainer. Nane's first catch of the game.
They really love some of the things about this guy. You know, they say he's maybe a less talented version than Vincent Jackson, but he can also do some things that Vincent can't do. We saw him run some of the Wildcat stuff last week. He went to Boise State as a quarterback, and he's just learning how to play the game.
John Johnson in at safety for the Arizona Cardinals. On 3rd down, Rivers gets time. Wide open, Antonio Gates. Another San Diego first down. Gates with his 7th catch of the game for 144 yards. What a day he's had. He joined the 500 reception club amongst tight ends in NFL history, the 7th player to do that. He caught 2 touchdown passes in this one. He got open whenever they needed him. And Rivers has been on target with his throws to Antonio Gates.
Huge day. The guy just makes it look so easy. And again, you got to ask yourself the question, as prolific as he is, why is he always running free in the secondary?
Cutting it back. Ryan Matthews turns it into a big gainer. And he's brought down inside the 30-yard line by Kerry Rhodes. A 20-yard run.
You figured coming in when they drafted this guy and that he was going to have a great chance. Here's the DN. Watch Calais Campbell. He's going to peek inside, turn his shoulders, whoop, right out the gate, out the back door. You got to slide down the line of scrimmage, keeping your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage so you can react to that little bend back, cut back. But Ryan Matthews, when he was drafted, as good as they are in the passing game, you had to figure that his numbers, if he stays healthy, are going to be huge.
Picked up 20 on the last play. Helmet came off on the defensive lineman, Alan Branch. Short pickup. Maybe a yard on the play. Ryan Matthews.
And teams have just pounded it at Arizona. They have averaged 34 running plays right at him per game. And we're already right at that, or where are we at today? We're close to 29 rushes today.
Billy Davis, the defensive coordinator, with a couple of rough road games. The one in Atlanta was a tough one. Atlanta totally dominated Matthews, 41-7 game. And today, Matthews, couple blockers, then shut down nicely by the Cardinals.
Alan Branch's hat came off again. Almost 8 yards per play today for the Chargers offensively.
411 yards total offense. Last week, in the loss in Seattle, they had 518 yards total offense. That was a game in which Phillip Rivers threw for 455 yards, a single game record for the Chargers. Today he hasn't had to do that. He's 15 for 19 for 241. Sproles in the backfield on 3rd and 11. Chargers. Pass is incomplete. Rivers' pass dropped by Buster Davis. Let's get an update from Kurt Menefee.
Seems as though the Jaguars always play Indy tough. Today, no exception. Maurice Jones-Drew takes the David Garrard pass in for a 28-21 Jacksonville lead, approaching the 2-minute warning. Sam and Tim.
Getting late. Does Peyton Manning have another miracle comeback in his pocket? Thanks, Kurt, for the update. 47-yard field goal try for Nate Kading. Kick on the way, and it is good. Kading. He must have gotten mad that he missed that 38-yarder earlier. He's hit his last two from 48 and 47. Chargers 41, Arizona 7.
Today's game is sponsored by Ford. Drive One. By the new action comedy Red, in theaters October 15th. And by Subway. Subway has you covered with $5 footlong subs morning, noon, and night. Subway, eat fresh.
Those killer whales, they're named Rosen, Ryan, and Myers. Look at the numbers. Norv Turner, the offensive guru. It's the most yards they've put up in the first 4 weeks of an NFL season.
And they've had some pretty good offenses here, haven't they?
See those names? And there's Mr. Air Coryell, the late Don Coryell. Who's the coach here. Kickoff coming down to LaRod Stevens Howling. Return from the 1, spun around, and buried at the 13-yard line. Great coverage by the Chargers. C.J. Spillman was in on the tackle, but it was well covered. Max Hall comes back on the field trying to get some offense going. Thanks, Kurt. Boy, Kurt looks good. Stay tuned for the OT following our game with the best post-game show around, presented by Lowe's. From the 12, Max Hall puts it up, almost intercepted. Quentin Jammer jumped at it, the pass thrown behind Stephen Williams. Max Hall, boy, he's getting quite an introduction to the NFL. It's his second appearance, but his first lengthy appearance.
Well, and Ron Rivera's just got these guys sitting on all the short routes. How many times have the Charger defenders had their hands on footballs today? Whether it was Derek Anderson and they were picking it off, or since Max Hall's gotten in the game, they've been batting it down.
Steve Gregory is okay. He's back in at safety for the Chargers. Donald Strickland comes in as a 5th defensive back. Empty backfield for the Cardinals on 2nd and 10. Ball throws short. It's complete to Beanie Wells at the 18-yard line.
Look at these 8 sacks that they've got. There's one right there, Kevin Burnett. Bang. Here comes another one. Now you got Phillips. Now you got Antonio Garay, and Phillips part of that one. Then you got Travis Johnson cleaning it up. Then Giles Tucker coming around the corner. I mean,
Phillips,
are you kidding me? And the thing is it's been with the blitz and it's been with a 4-man rush. We've seen a little bit of everything.
Max Hall 6 for 10, 51 yards. The blitz from the outside, the pass overthrown. Intended for Tim Hightower out of the backfield. And again, pressure, and that came from Sean Phillips.
Yeah, this isn't even close. I mean, this is not even close. And I know the score's lopsided, but just, I mean, they cannot block Sean Phillips.
No.
They can't block him. You see him coming off the bottom part left side of your screen there.
Nobody looked at him.
And I guess you can't block him when you don't even turn a guy to him.
Wrong guy to let come free. Phillips has had a big game with 3 sacks and an interception return for a touchdown. Sproles from his own 27 with room to return. And there's a flag back at the 30-yard line. Sproles was brought down at the 45. on a good tackle by Matt Ware, and Ware, I think, is hurt. He gets up slowly and limps toward the sideline. 55-yard punt, 18-yard return, and that's a bad sign.
Illegal block in the back. Return team, number 29. 10-yard penalty. First down, San Diego. Timeout.
Good return was negated with a block in the back.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you.
Back in San Diego, to the sideline goes Philip Rivers. He's done enough. The 41-7 lead with 9:43 to go. And Billy Volek, 34-year-old veteran quarterback, his fifth year with San Diego, back in Tennessee, comes in to replace Philip Rivers. Ryan Matthews carries, no gain on the play. Excellent game for Philip Rivers. 15 for 20, 241 yards, 2 touchdown passes.
And he is so accurate, whether it's underneath or on the deep ball. Look at the accuracy there. I mean, just right where the defender can't get it. Here's the deep ball to Gates, right in stride. And then sometimes you get a little bit lucky as your receivers or running backs make plays for you. That's Tolbert right there using his head to pin that one and come down with it. Philip is unbelievable. I believe the only quarterback, when you think of his quarterback rating, 08-09, to go back-to-back seasons up over 100.
And the last 2 seasons, he's passed for over 4,000 yards. He's put up tremendous numbers. And for Philip Rivers, no interceptions. The accuracy was there. The leadership has been there. And the explosive plays. San Diego Chargers put up 8 plays of 20 yards or more in this game.
Well, they were #1 coming into the game. They were the best in that category with 21, 7 a game. This game is all about the explosive plays. They're the most explosive offense in the league. And I asked Philip, I said, when are you going to get the recognition of the Mannings and the Bradys and all that? And he goes, I know I need to win a Super Bowl. I know it. That comes with it.
Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Adam Terry, 5th-year man out of Syracuse, now in, replacing Jeremy Clary at right tackle as Norv Turner's rests some of his starters. All set back to the 15. Get to the 30 for a first down. Darren Sproles in the backfield on 3rd and 14 to be exact. And off inside. We check in with Chris Myers down on the field.
Well, yeah, you talk about Philip Rivers. You know, he said his dad coached a lot of fundamentals, but throwing the football in the backyard, touch football, that's where he says he refined his skill at a young age. And a lot has been made of how emotional he is on the field. We didn't see a lot of that today because they were in control. But Norv Turner said that his animation is his personality. It's positive energy. It's encouragement. And I asked a lot of his teammates. I pulled them on my own, and they said, we expect that from him. It helps us to play better. And Rivers says, I'm a guy. I know I need to channel it, but I play better when I play with great emotion.
He certainly does that. First punt of the game for the Chargers. Mike Cypress, good. He drives Andre Roberts back to the 18. Roberts slips one man and gets up to the 36-yard line. Good return by Andre Roberts, who had some trouble last week catching the ball, judging the ball. 13-yard return on a 67-yard punt by Mike Cypress. Our coverage doesn't end when this game is over. We've got the OT, the best post-game show there is. Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy bring you exclusive interviews, extended highlights, and a look ahead to next week's action. It's the #1 post-game show in America, the OT presented by Lowe's. Coming up after the game, Michael Strahan normally would be on there, but he's en route back to New York to take part in the Ring of Honor ceremony at the New Meadowlands Stadium. Hightower on the carry. That's over the 27-yard line. He's brought down. Arizona Cardinals will go home to play the New Orleans Saints next week, so the schedule doesn't get any easier for the Cardinals. Saints won a tough one at home today, 16-14 over Carolina. They're 3-1. So you think Max Hall might start next week?
I do.
I think they go back to Derek Anderson, because he's more experienced?
Yeah, I totally see the experience factor, and he was a great quarterback in 2007, but I also see a guy that has no confidence and has continued to make some mental errors.
Ball steps up, throws, he's got a man, and he completes it to Jim Dre, the tight end, his first catch in the NFL. The rookie out of Stanford with a nice grab down the middle.
And a real nice job there by Max Hall stepping up in the pocket. It shows a little bit of poise there. He swims up in the pocket, finds a throwing lane, and the strike right there to Dre. Look, Derek is a superior guy athletically, skill set wise, everything else. But you got to function in the offense. Physical mistakes are going to happen. Yes. No tolerance for mental errors at this level.
Ball at the Chargers 39. Tight ends in, Patrick in motion. Point bank, ball throwing. Ben Patrick, and he holds on. Juggles, holds on, gets up, and takes a hit down at the 32-yard line. For the Cardinals, we mentioned they play the Saints next week and then a bye week. Injuries, you got a nagging injury to the knee of Larry Fitzgerald in the heel, and then those other two wide receivers, Early Doucette and Steve Preston, should be back.
Yep, no question about it. And New Orleans will be a tough matchup. It's not easy up at Seattle. We know that. Tampa coming to town at Minnesota. It's going to be a challenge. And conversely, I think you look at San Diego, I think they're about to go on a little run.
Be in Oakland next week. Hightower on the carry, trying to get outside. Gets taken down to 28. Let's check out the Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, they keep going back and forth, and now it's even Steven, to use a cliche. Reggie Wayne with a big 42-yard reception from Peyton Manning set up a 1-yard touchdown to Austin Collie, and they're tied at 28, less than a minute to go. Sam and Tim?
What a game. Thanks, Kurt. He did it again. Peyton did it again. Under 2 minutes, he took him down the field. Wow. Reggie Wayne was wide open on that. Spot motions. Hightower carries. Not much there. Good work up front. The Chargers have Ojemdi Nwabo in at nose tackle, number 91, second-year man out of Michigan State.
I'm amazed at defensively. They've been stout against the run, clearly, and you throw out the returns and what teams have done to them getting points other than scoring on their defense. This has been a very, very stingy defense. And they've done it. Look at Jamal Williams, who was always the centerpiece right in there at nose tackle. They have lightened those guys up a little bit in terms of their body weight. You got those D linemen all going about 300 to 310 now with more movement skills. And it's showing up again. You can't talk enough about how good they play as a team on defense.
Second and 10. Hall's pass is batted down. What a game Sean Phillips has had. He has just been superb out there.
Unstoppable right here. Just going to come up the field again, unblocked. A little screen to the outside. Typically when you run a screen, the tackle's got to block. He's got to drop back and block. And then you leak out your guard and your center and your backside guard.
Now, with a player like Phillips, who's having a strong game, he's big and he's agile, why wouldn't they at least chip him a little bit?
Well, a couple of things. Well, it does surprise me. Now, they've moved him around. We've seen him come from the right side. We've seen him come from the left side. We've seen him come up the middle.
Ball had a little time, nobody open. Still looking, chased out of bounds. Chased out by Sean Phillips.
Well, and Ron Rivera
Phillips is going to get another sack on this one. That'll be 4 sacks in the game for Sean Phillips, 9 for the San Diego Chargers.
And Ron Rivera is just scheming him up and putting him in different spots. This time he lines up to the left, he comes back inside, and then is able to get on his horse, pursue down the line of scrimmage, and as you said, run him out of bounds for another sack.
This will be a field goal try of 53 yards.
Look at Chico. Yeah, I put you in position.
Jay Feely will
Ron
try
Rivera.
it.
Love it.
Mike Leach, the long snapper. The holder is Ben Graham. The kick is on the way, and it has the distance. It's good. Big kick by Jay Feely, his 11th career 50-yarder. So the Cardinals put 3 on the board. It's 41-10. Don't forget, NFL on Fox next week. It all begins with the all-new Ford Edge Drive 1 pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Big games next week feature the Green Bay Packers and the Washington Redskins, the New Orleans Saints at the Arizona Cardinals. Tim and I will be traveling down to Carolina to see the Chicago Bears take on Carolina Panthers. Panthers lost a tough one to the Saints today by 2 points. Bears play tonight at the Meadowlands against the Giants.
Speaking of the Bears, you know, Ron Rivera was an outstanding Bear, part of the '85 Super Bowl team, and was the defensive coordinator the year that they went to the Super Bowl and lost to Indianapolis. He's been on some interviews the last couple of years as a head coach. I think eventually he's going to get his opportunity because he's coached the 4-3, he's coached the 3-4, he's been with Jim Johnson, the late Jim Johnson in Philadelphia, understanding all the concepts of the fire zones and all the different things you do there. He is a complete coordinator in all facets of the game. And I think eventually, and he's lights out in his interviews, I think eventually Ron Rivera is going to find himself a home as a head man in pro football.
Chargers have their hands team out there expecting an onside kick from Jay Feely. He kicks it deep. Big line drive goes toward the sideline through the end zone for a touchback. 3:17 to go. When you think of the San Diego Chargers, you can't think of them without thinking about Don Coryell, who also coached the Arizona Cardinals and had a high-powered passing offense. And in San Diego, he had some great players like Dan Fouts, the Hall of Fame quarterback. Air Coryell was something special. And he is in the San Diego Chargers Hall of Fame. And as we mentioned earlier, a lot of people feel he should be in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and he will be. I really believe that. His fingerprints are all over the National Football League. There's a Hall of Famer there.
Charlie Joyner.
Yeah.
Pester. And fullback Scott Burchkowski, number 63, is in its center. Just handing the ball off as the Chargers just wind the clock down with a big lead. Here's what's upcoming for the Chargers. They'll go on the road at Oakland in a division game. And the Raiders are trailing at home to Houston today, at St. Louis. Then New England and Tennessee come in for a couple of toughies and then go to Houston, which is a tough game. That's what's up ahead. The San Diego Chargers will be 2-2 after this game.
We've seen them start slow and go on big-time runs before, haven't we?
Last season,
yeah,
they won 11 in a row.
Yep.
Pollock hands it off. Jacob Pester, nothing there. Dropped the 23-yard line. Well, the Chargers obviously cleaned up a lot of things on special teams. I think if they get those linebackers that we talked about healthy, Merriman and English, get those guys healthy, that's a team. This is a team that's going to be reckoned with all season long. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee for an update. Kurt, what do you got?
Well, the Eagles drawing a little bit closer. Kevin Cobb in for the injured Michael Vick, finding Brent Selleck on a 5-yard score. And with just over 4 minutes left, they missed the 2-point conversion, and it's a 5-point Washington lead. McNabb trying to hold on and win in his return to Philly. Sam and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. If you joined it late, not aware of it, Michael Vick was injured in the first quarter. It looks like a rib injury, and Kevin Cobb replaced him. And as Andy Reid has often said, it's good to have two quarterbacks of that caliber to call on. Buster Davis in as a third wide receiver on third down. Burchkowski in the center making some calls. Rolling short to Jacob Hester. He's got a first down. And out of the fullback. Every time he's gotten his hands on the ball, he's done a good job. Run the ball, caught a couple of passes, gets a first down.
Yeah, every time they call a play offensively, it seems like they get the look that they want.
Danger, high voltage in San Diego.
High voltage.
If time permits, we'll show you some more football. We'll send you to Philadelphia for the conclusion of the game between the Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles. That has 3:45 remaining. It's a good day for all all of us, we saw some good friends here. Smoking Joe Frazier before the game. The great one, Wayne Gretzky, was here. Stopped by and said hello. Some great people out here. Good to see them. Wayne's son, Travis, checking out San Diego State. He played baseball there. Hester, a couple of blocks. Takes it wide, kills off some time. Let's get an update on Indianapolis and Jacksonville. What happened in that game, Kurt?
It went down to the final play. Jacksonville's Josh Scobie from 59 yards out, and it's clear. The Jaguars win a thriller over the Colts, 31-28 the final. Both teams now 2-2. Sam and Tim.
Wow, what
59
a
yards?
59 yards. That's how you beat Peyton Manning. You don't give him a chance to get the ball back. Wow, great win for Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's a 10-4.
Chargers now will just run out the clock. 2-2. Denver is 2-2. Oakland is 1-3. Oakland lost at home to Houston, 31-24. And the team in first place in the AFC West, Kansas City. You saw them last week. They're 3-0. They've got a bye this week. For Ken Wisenhunt, they've got to get things back together. And in a hurry, they've got New Orleans coming in next week. Producer of today's game, Mike Burks. Director, Greg Scopatoni. Associate Director, Tom Yohe. Broadcast Associate, Matt Saldana. The studio show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Associate Director, Stephanie Medina. The highlights coordinator, Janice Casasa. The studio technical supervisor, Jack Simmons. Our thanks, as always, to Gary Lynn, our spotter in the booth, Emmett McGuire, our statistician, Mark Sazda on computer stats, Ty Yohe on the Fox box. Thanks to everyone here. Stay with us. The OT is coming up. They're winding down in Philadelphia. We'll see if we can get you to that one. But the OT presented by Lowe's. Great post-game show with highlights, interviews, and a whole lot more is coming up next. Here in San Diego, the Chargers, with a dominant performance, beat the Arizona Cardinals 41-10. We'll be right back.